In this video, we're going to go over an easy way to start investing into index funds with Vanguard. I'll give you some index funds to consider, including the fund I've invested into since 2019, a step-by-step guide of how you can buy index funds with Vanguard so you can invest with confidence. And as a little bonus, I'll let you in on a strategy that can literally make you a millionaire. Investing in index funds is my favorite way to invest, and after this short video, you're going to find out exactly why. The first fund is the Vanguard FTSE All World ETF. This fund invests in well over 3,000 stocks, so it's seriously diversified. Basically, you're spreading your risk across thousands of stocks and other assets like bonds, for example. The ongoing charge, the OCF, is 0.22%, which is very low, and keeping the cost low is an obvious bonus. When you are factoring in risk, Vanguard will let you know the risk of a given fund. The highest risk is 7, and this fund has a risk of 6 out of 7, so it's high risk. So if you're in your 20s or 30s, this might be suitable for you. But if you're getting on a bit, it might be one to avoid due to the level of risk. The next fund we're going to cover is the Vanguard FTSE Global All Cap Index Fund. In comparison to the previous fund, this is even more diversified as it invests in well over 7,000 stocks, and this extra diversification is reflected in the risk. Looking at Vanguard's risk gauge, this has a risk of 5 out of 7, so it's fairly high risk. The ongoing charge, the OCF, is 0.23%, so again is very low. The last fund is my fund, the fund I currently invest into, and is the Vanguard Life Strategy 100% Equity Fund. Looking at costs, this fund has an ongoing charge, an OCF of 0.22%, so again very low costs. In terms of risk, this is 5 out of 7, which is fairly high risk, and that's about my risk tolerance, given that I intend to invest for the next 20 or 30 years. Index investing is my favourite way to invest because it's set and forget that brings calmness. You put the work in initially, you do the research and pick your fund or funds, and then check on your fund maybe once or twice a year. The Little Book of Common Sense Investing is a book worth reading if you're interested in index investing. This book and similar books will really help you to understand the basics. Right, let's move on to a step-by-step guide on how to buy index funds using a platform. 1. The first step is to decide on a suitable platform. One of the ways to do this is by going on a site like Money Saving Expert and comparing various platforms like Vanguard or Hargreaves and Lansdown. 2. Then you need to open a brokerage account with Vanguard or any other similar investment platform. You will need to provide personal identification information and funding source information. 3. Choose your index funds. Vanguard offers a variety of index funds to choose from, each of which may vary in their fees and performance and other things. Before making a decision, research each fund's historical performance and management style. 4. Place your order. Once you have identified your preferred index funds, it's time to place your buy order. You will need to specify how many shares you want to purchase. Basically, how much you're going to invest each month, how much you can afford. 5. Finally, you will go on to monitoring your investment. After purchasing your index funds, it's important to monitor them regularly to ensure they align with your investment goals. Keep an eye on the fund's performance, fees, and any changes to its holdings. Once you understand index investing, you will only need to do this really once or twice a year. It's all about set and forget. Choosing an index fund is based on your risk tolerance and your financial goals. If you're in your late teens or 20s, you might go medium to high risk because you've got time on your hands. You can do your own research or you can go to a financial advisor. The choice is yours. As I've mentioned before, we are going to look at a strategy that will make you a millionaire. Basically, you pick your fund or funds, decide on how much you're going to invest each month and invest long term. Let's look at a few examples. Assuming you get an average return of 8% per annum and you invest £1,000 per calendar month for 26 years, you would end up with £1,042,411. Of that, £730,000 is interest, showing the power of compound interest. The question is, can you invest for 26 years? To reduce the amount of years, let's see what would happen if you increased the monthly amount invested. Again, assuming you get an average return of 8% per annum and you invested £1,500 per calendar month, after 22 years, you would end up with £1,075,182. Of that figure, over £679,000 is interest earned. So that's 22 years to become a millionaire via index investing. £1,000 and £1,500 are large amounts to invest. If you can afford 500 or less, it would obviously take longer to become a millionaire. If you want to be a millionaire from index investing, the sooner you start, the better. My personal opinion is that if you have the discipline to invest for 20 or even 30 years into an index fund, you'll become a millionaire. I've demonstrated how you can do it. The question is, can you invest for the long term?